Hello students, welcome to my study channel. Today we will study chapter 2, that is linear equations in one variable. It is of class 8. So let us start. So this is chapter 2. Linear equations in one variable. You see, linear equations in one variable. There are different terms. You see, first is linear. From the word line, it has been linear. Then equations. Then variable. You know variable? We use a symbol, we use a letter that represents a number. Yes or no? From A to Z in English alphabets also the Greek letters alpha, beta, gamma, like this we use. So the letters are used as numbers. We also call them variable, which do not have the constant value, which do not have the definite value. Okay, these are also called literals. And you see, first we will know what is equation. Already you have known to some extent in your class 6, and also you must have known in class 7, and now you are in standard 8, class 8. You must have known what an equation is. You see, what is an equation? An equation is a condition. An equation is a condition on a variable. Which is satisfied for a definite value of a variable. So you see, an equation is a condition on a variable which is satisfied. That means the equation is satisfied for a definite value, because the variable, you see, it has no constant values. It varies means changes. You cannot say. But an equation, it creates a condition. It gives a definite value to the variable, to the literal. Yes, sir? You see, suppose I will write x plus 2 is equal to 5. Now what is the value of x? X is 3. X is equal to 3 or not? But wow, in which cases we use x? A, B, C, D, up to Z. You see, these are the variables. But this is the equation or not? This is an algebraic equation. How you identify? You see, there is a variable, there is the sign of equality, and there are also constants. Yes or no? So we can tell an algebraic equation, an algebraic equation is, what is an algebraic equation? It is an equality. Involving variables. So variables should be involved, and there is a sign of equality. Variables, we have the variable here, x. So this is an algebraic equation. We use letter for the constants, for the definite values. Okay? We use letter or not? And in this case, the equation has the solution x is equal to 3. So the variable has got the definite value. So on a condition, the variable receives the definite value. Which one gives? The equation gives. So the algebraic equation gives a definite value to the variable. That is most important. So it is an equality. It is an equality. So an equation is an equality. An algebraic equation is an equality. But for not all the values of the variable, for a definite value, you should remember this. So you see, x plus 2 is equal to 5. This is an algebraic equation. How did I know that there is a sign of equality and variable is involved here and there are also constants? Yes or no? So this is an algebraic equation. And we have to solve. If you start solving it, that implies x is equal to 5 is here. So we transposed 2 to the right hand side and it was with the positive sign, and just to change the sign, write like this. That is equal to 5 plus of minus 2, that is equal to 3. Okay? So you see, before going to this, I want to discuss one thing. You just, if you want to write it, you may write. I want to just erase it. So when we are studying equations in one variable, it is called the linear equation in one variable. Why? Already I have told you, from line it is linear. So equation in one variable, you better understand. Like this, x plus 2 is equal to 5. Already I have written. So here you see, this is an algebraic equation. Yes, one variable is there. So this is an equation in one variable. So why it is called a linear equation? My question is this. So you see, from line it has been linear. Such type of equations represents a straight line. Okay? So in the higher classes you will read it. Just to some extent I want to make you understand. You see, linear equations have standard form and slope intercept form. You do not know it. Sorry, point slope form like this. But out of the standard form, equations in one variable, equations in, this is the short form of equation, E, Q, and you write it here. Equation in, you superscript here, equation in two variables, equations in three variables. And you are reading equation in one variable. These two in the higher class and also these two in the higher class. So what is the standard form of equation that represent a straight line? You see, you just know it. Ax plus b is equal to 0. What is x? You know it is the variable. What is a and b? What are a and b? You know just these are the real numbers, but you know just a and b are constants. A is a constant, b is another constant. It may be same but constant. And the most important is a is not equal to 0. If required, you may take the image of it. Because there is no space, I have to write something. So you see, x plus 2 is equal to 5. So this also represents a linear equation, but it is not in standard form. To bring this equation into standard form, I have to write like this. That implies, because you see, we have to make the right hand side 0. So x plus 2, you transpose 5 to LHS, that is minus 5 is equal to 0. That implies x minus 3 is equal to 0. That implies x plus of minus 3 is equal to 0. And here you see x means 1 into x. 1 into x plus of minus 3, that is equal to 0. Or you may give the cross sign here. So 1 is a constant. Let it be a. So ax plus this is another constant b. Yes or no? This is also a constant. So it is in the standard form or not? Ax plus b is equal to 0. So we could convert into the standard form. So this represents a linear equation. But in a standard form, if we will have to write, we can write like this. So what that is in your process of study, just we will go through it. So just you know this. The such type of equations, it may be one variable, the equations may be of two variables, may be of three variables, but they will represent the linear equations. And in standard form of the linear equation, in one variable, you will have to remember this. According to this pattern, we will have to place it. We have to show it. And we showed here ax plus b is equal to 0. And the most important thing is the highest power of the variable should be 1 only. It should not be more than 1. It should be 1. You will have to remember. The highest power of the variable is 1. So it is the linear equations in one variable. So I erase it. So this is chapter 2. Chapter number 2. So method of solving, just I want to make you recall method of solving linear equations. So when you are learning, suppose in class 6, when you are just learning, how you do it, you see trial and error method. Trial and error method. That means suppose it has been told x plus 2 is equal to 5. So what do we have to do? I have to do the experiment. I have to take some values or constant values for the variables, and I have to put here, and I have to see whether the left hand side of the equation is equal to the right hand side of the equation or not. So what to do here, you see, you just make a table and suppose you see you will have to try several values of the variable, so you write here x and here LHS is equal to x plus 2, RHS is equal to 5. So if I take the value x is equal to 1, so put here x plus 2, that is 1 plus 2, that is equal to 3. But here it is 5. So left hand side is not equal to right hand side because the sign of equality is here. So 3 is not equal, so you go to 2, take x is equal to 2. You take several values of the variables like 1, like 2. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, but it is 5. Then go to 3. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. Here left hand side is equal to right hand side. So for the definite value x is equal to 3, the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. That means we got the solution of the equation. We found the root of the equation. That is, we got the solution or found the root of the equation. Find the value of x. We got the definite value for which the left hand side of the equation is equal to the right hand side of the equation. So you see, like this, when you are in a learning stage, you solve like this and you become mature. So how will you do it? That is the systematic method. Second method is systematic method. In systematic method, how do you solve the linear equations? You see, suppose x plus 2 is equal to 5. That implies in the first step, what will we have to do? We will have to find the value of x. So we will have to isolate x. Then we can show x is equal to this value. So how we can isolate? Now we will take the 2 here to the, we will transpose 2 to the right hand side. So if I transpose 2, it was with the positive sign in the left hand side. Just you take its inverse operation, that is minus. Then you write the number. That is 5 plus of minus 2, that is equal to 3. So this is the solution. You may write here. We found the root of the solution. If I take x is equal to 4, then 4 plus 2 will be equal to 6. So 6 is not equal to 5. So for the definite value of the variable, the equation is satisfied. So an equation is an equality because the sign of equality is here. So an equation is an equality. But for not all values of the variable, for the particular value of the variable, we will know when we will read about identity. For all values of the variable, that equality holds good. We will read it later. But for the time being, you know, the same equality. Equation is an equality. And the same equality, identity. So equation is an equality, identity is an equality. But what is the basic difference between an equation and an identity? Both are equalities. Equation is an equality, identity is an equality. We are using the sign of equality. But the condition, equation is satisfied for the definite value of the variable, not for the all values of the variable. The variable will get the definite value. But in the case of identity, the sign of equality we use. So it is an equality, but the variable will receive, or the variable or the identity, that equality will holds good, that is true for all the values of the variable. We will just discuss it later. So you see there is an interesting phenomenon, just we will discuss to some extent. I want to make you recall one thing, you just follow me. You will be thinking, why we are transposing like this, clause to here equals clause to here, it became minus 2 in the right hand side, and when it was in the right hand side, if I transpose to the left hand side, then it will be, the sign is changing, becomes minus, minus becomes plus, like this. Why this happens, you see, actually what is happening, you see, x plus 2, the same equation I am writing for you, x plus 2 is equal to 5. So if I want to isolate x, I have to write only x here. So I will have to replace this. So you see, it is the left hand side, it is LHS, and it is right hand side. And if I add minus 2 here, and here it was 5, so I will have to add minus 2 here. Because you see, this equality sign, both are balanced. This side is equal to this side. Balance is maintained because the sign of equality is there. What I am doing in the left side, I will have to do the same operation in the right hand side. When I added minus 2 to the left hand side, I added minus 2 to the right hand side. No damage. The equation is balanced. Always balance should not be failure. Okay. So 2 plus of minus 2, this will give 0. So I got my x. That implies x is equal to 5 plus of minus 2, you better know. Because you see, the integers of opposite signs when they are added, what we do? We take the difference of the numerical values only. Neglect minus sign, the plus sign. 5 minus 2, that is 3. And you see the greater integer, the sign given to the greater integer, that will give into the sum, yes or no? So that is plus 3. So we got x is equal to 3. So what is happening here, you see? What we are doing? When I did this became 0. This value is 0 or not? That means x plus 0, that is x. That is 5 plus of minus 2. That is 5 minus 2. So what is happening here? I erase all this. You please see here. It was plus 2. It becomes minus 2. Oh, it is happening like this. So plus 2 here it was. Here it appeared as minus 2. So we can transpose easily like this. Okay? So using the transposing method, that is the systematic method, we could solve. So always mark one thing. In case of an equation, the sign of equality is there, the variable is there, and also constants are there. So an algebraic equation is an equality that involves variables, and the variable gets the definite value. So an equation is a condition and a variable for which that equation is satisfied for the definite value of a variable. So you see, that implies x is equal to 5 minus 2, that is equal to 3. And you see, very interesting, you see, this is a balance. This is a balance. Just I construct a balance, and you see yes sir. Suppose here I had 6 apples here, I keep here of same size. Here I So with same size, I have some apples in a basket. I kept here 6 apples of same size. 4 apples. So it will not be balanced, it will be like this. So it is not balanced. So it is not in an equilibrium pattern. We cannot think the sign of equality here. I need some more. I do not know. Let it be x. But I know 6, 4 plus 2. It will be 2 apples of same size because same size apples I have kept. Some apples I have kept in the basket. So you see, this is, let it be x. So you see, x plus 4. That will be 6. So what is the value of x? I must put 2 here. So if I put 2 here, here it is 6 apples, here it is 6 apples. It becomes 6 apples. So here it is left hand side, here it is right hand side. And you see the sign of equality, and you see the balance is balanced or not. This shopkeeper uses the balance. So initially I want to show you this is the sign of equality, and you see here this is the sign of equality. In one pan it is here, in the other pan it is here. So if this becomes equal, if the value of the left hand side becomes equal to the value of the right hand side, then we can know the definite value of the literal. Yes or no? We can know it. So this is all about. So we will do the exercise of this chapter. Okay? And before going, I want to just remember one thing. Suppose x plus 3 is equal to 5. This is called the left hand side. This is called the right hand side. And you will see the one side there is number, one side there is an algebraic expression. It may be like this. Suppose okay, suppose I could write like this. So you see, here it was in one side, in the left hand side there was the algebraic expression, and in the other side of the equation there was the only number. But in both sides there are the algebraic expressions. So you will read it in the next bit. You will read after covering one exercise. You will go to that. But what you will find, in one side of the equation there is an algebraic expression, and the other side there is number. And already we discussed why we call it a linear equation. Such type of equations, in one variable here it is given, maybe of 2 variables, maybe of 3 variables, but most important is the highest power of the variable should be 1, and these are the linear equations. They represent the line, that is straight line, when you graph it, and in the Euclidean plane we graph it, we can see. But in the standard form, in equation, in one variable, if you have to write, we have to write in ax plus b is equal to 0, and a is not equal to 0. A and b are constants for you in the early stage, you know. So we can convert this like this. This was x is equal to 5 minus 3, that is equal to 2. That implies x minus 2 is equal to 0. That implies x plus of minus 2 is equal to 0. So we could show like this. Here it is 1 is a, x is here, plus, and this is b, this is 0. So we could show in the standard form. So this is all about, and we will go through the exercise. Okay?